right, this is Anthony Potto Radtrad. I want to talk about Latin massism. Latin massism. As long as I have my Latin mass, I'm okay. The Latin mass takes priority over the faith. That's Latin massism. It's like your religion is centered around the Latin mass. Keep in mind, you can be saved without the Latin mass. You cannot be saved without the faith. So this is Latin massism. As long as he doesn't touch my Latin mass, I don't really care what he does or what he even believes. I don't even want to know what he believes. Just let me have my Latin mass and I'm good, basically. And then, okay, so then when we got traditionalists will point out the problems that we're seeing, those that are infected with Latin massism will strike back, saying, how dare you be like this? If you keep doing this, he is going to take away our Latin mass. So stop it. Look, he's already giving gestures of friendship toward us. He's singing in Latin. He's doing these things. So he's giving us friendly gestures. And if you keep being a pest, he will take it away again. And then you begin to start realizing, when they start talking like this, you begin to start realizing that their problem with Francis has nothing to do with what Francis taught or what Francis did. They don't care that Francis was a heretic at all. They might not have liked some of the things he said, but ultimately that's not what they were angry at Francis about. They were angry at Francis because Francis decided to take away their mass. That's what they were angry about. He touched it. He could have been spewing all kind of heresy, and he was. But that didn't bother them. He dared to touch their mass. And that rallied up all the Latin massismers. Those infected with Latin massism. That rallied them around. Okay, rallied them against Francis. Not that he didn't teach the faith, but that he dared to want to touch their Latin mass. Now, they begin to look now at Leo the 14th and think, we have a friend. Maybe he won't be like Francis and touch our Latin mass. But and when Sedevacantists, possibly like SPX resistance types, whatever, point out that, hey, he doesn't preach the faith. He's preaching Vatican II. He's supporting the things of Francis. He's doing these things. We got to resist that. And the issue wasn't Francis. The issue wasn't whatever. It's Vatican II and the things these people are teaching. And Leo the 14th is continuing that by what he's saying and what he's doing. It goes over their head. They do not care. They do not care. Because it's the Latin mass that matters to them. As long as he doesn't touch the mass. And that's why they're supportive of him. They're like, look, traditionalists, let's rally around Leo the 14th. Look how wonderful he is. Look how traditional he is. In the hopes that he'll restore the mass back. It's all about getting the mass back. The Latin mass back. Making it more available. It's about spreading the Latin mass. Getting the Latin mass out there everywhere. Okay? Oh, I would love for them to get rid of the Novus Ordo and have the Latin mass everywhere. Okay? But the Latin mass without the faith isn't good. Okay? You need to have both. You need to have the faith, and you need to have the mass that connects with that faith, which is the traditional Latin mass. Just going out and saying, just give us our mass, when the bishops in charge are heretical, when the bishops in charge are promoting Vatican II and false ecumenism and religious liberty and all these other condemned notions. But it's just so we can have my Latin Mass near me, that I don't have to drive far or whatever. I don't have to miss. As long as my Latin Mass doesn't get bothered, I'm okay. And so therefore we're going to rally around the new Pope. We're going to rally around him. And this is why I recommend looking at those sermons by Bishop Pierrois, because he talks about what's important. What's important, that we have a Catholic Pope. We should not support anyone who claims to be a Pope that doesn't hold the Catholic faith. I mean, it sounds so silly to demand a Pope to be Catholic. If he's not a Pope, he's not Catholic. It's impossible. You know? But it's not, I mean, we should not rally around someone who holds to these condemned heretical things. No matter how nice and appealing he is, and willing to, reach the aisle to us who are traditional Catholics. We can't be fooled by this. Okay, we can't be fooled by that. At first I thought maybe they're fooled by this. They're being deceived by this. But then I'm starting to realize, no, they're not fooled by this, actually. They never cared. It's never been about the faith to them. It's been about the Mass. That's the issue. It's never been about the faith. It's about the aesthetics. It's about what they like. And they like the Latin Mass. I mean it's definitely, the Latin Mass is definitely much more likable than the Novus Ordo. That's why when you point out, hey, I can't be in union with this bishop, or I can't be in union with with this guy who claims to be the Pope, because he holds to condemned teachings and things opposed to the faith. And you're like, and that's why they feel threatened by us and accuse us to be Protestants, because, and you'll hear them say this sometimes in comments and so forth. They'll say, it's because of you, Francis took away the Latin Mass. Of mean trads like you, nasty trads like you, that Francis took away the Latin Mass. And it's just a strange way of thinking, that a person who points out errors and heresy, like, hey, what's going on with this guy? How can he be a true Pope? We're the bad guys. Folks, it's about much more than the Latin Mass itself, okay? Francis wasn't the problem. He's a symptom of the problem. And everything that's flown from the problem, which is the Vatican II, and the modernists in charge have flown from that. The new Mass, the new catechism, the new code of canon law, the new rites of consecration of bishops and ordination. Everything's new. It's a new religion. You got to have all these new everything's been changed to fit the new religion. Okay? And Francis is just a product of that. And Leo the 14th, he is a proper successor of them. It's a proper successor to Francis, because he holds to what they hold to. A pope, someone who has the faith, the Catholic faith, and his successor to St. Peter, would condemn Francis and repudiate what he did. But instead, what does he do? He goes and prays at his tomb. He prays at the tomb of Francis. This plague of Latin Mass-ism is something that really it infects a lot of people. We have to just be like, yes, of course I want the Latin Mass, okay? I mean, that's where I go. That's where I go. I go to Latin Mass too. But if I went to the Latin Mass and they were teaching false ecumenism at the Latin Mass, I wouldn't go there. You know what I'm saying? Or if the priest that was at that Latin Mass was united with a bishop who preached that heresy and apostasy, I wouldn't be with that bishop, with that priest. Because why would he be in union with somebody who's a heretic? United with that one. We separate ourselves from heretics. So it's beyond the Mass. It is It is about the faith, and that's what we're contending for. And it's difficult, yes. It's continuing on for a long time. They're continuing to still do the same old thing, and we're desperately wanting some relief. And we're seeing, and people are seeing a little bit of relief, okay, in Leo the 14th. But it's externals only. It's mere externals, folks. And we've got to be looking for more than their externals. Ave Maria.